What's up, people? Grand Kush. Welcome to the Grand Kush channel. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Let's get into it. All right. Fact-checking information is very important. Okay. Today, we are living in an era where people do not mind passing false information just to prove a point. Okay? You gotta fact check information. And I'm gonna give you an example, right? And this is gonna float along the lines of the Black Indian agenda. Okay? When I'm dealing with this subject, it's in the mind of dealing with false information, checking false information when it comes down to us, some of us black people in America who say they have no African ancestry. Okay? So, let's go in right quick. I want to display something to you. Why you always want to fact check information. All right, peep this, right? So, in the YouTube Black Indian community, right, you may be familiar with this team, Real Talk with Tim and Phoebe. Now, they've come with false information a gang of times just to prove a point. And we're gonna fact check this right here, okay? Things that make you go, do you think it's a coincidence that the Indians wore the feathers of Ma'at and that Osset and Osar's temple can be found in Arizona? Okay. Now, with this post right here, I want to go into some of the comments, because some of the comments are hilarious. Okay. They have pineapples in reliefs too. Also, Anubis is a Mexican Jolo dog, right? That was liked. Grand Canyon Pyramids, Pharaoh Ramesses, Osiris, Isis, Akhenaten, Nefertiti, Ma'at, Horus, oldest hieroglyph artifacts found in America. That was liked. And a follow-up with "That's right." Okay? By the host of the post. And then we got this Mr. Dark Element right here. I'm not gonna read that. We got a "Wow, I think you're on to something." That's liked. I will admit that this is very interesting comment you made. This is a very interesting comment you made. So, the commenters are in agreement that this is correct. Okay? That this is correct. Now, let me say this. There's nothing in America that's related to Egypt that's older than the actual Egyptian empire, Egyptian civilization and culture. Okay? Egyptian civilization and culture was brought to America. A lot of it come from Masons, right? But I don't want to go too deep into that. We're going to stay with this part right here, and we're going to fact check this information. 2, none of the temples in the Grand Canyon are called Auset and Osar. Okay, so let's go in. Where did this come from? This understanding, right? This thinking that the Grand Canyon and the so-called temples in the Grand Canyon have hieroglyphs in them, and the temples being older than the Egyptian temples themselves. Where does this come from? Where did it come from? You can search that part of it, right? I'm going to deal strictly with the origins of the names of these temples and who brought these names, who named these temples, right? Okay, because this right here, this don't make no sense, right? When you do a little bit of research. So, with a quick search, who named the Isis temple in Arizona, right? Who named the Isis temple in Arizona? A man by the name of Clarence Dutton, a U.S. Army officer, geologist, cartographer, and philosopher, named Isis temple in the Grand Canyon as part of a naming tradition for geographical features in the areas. Okay. In the 1870s, Dutton began naming Grand Canyon peaks after mythological deities and ancient religious pagodas. Other surveyors, including George Wharton, James Francis Mathis, and Henry Garnett, continued this tradition into the early 1900s. Isis Temple is one of 23 peaks in the Grand Canyon that were officially named as temples. Okay, there's a wiki search right there if you want to go into that. But we just don't want to stop there. We want to give more sources, right? We want to give more sources. Okay. So this is Clarence Dutton, right? His wiki. Okay. But we're not going to go there. You want to get some real information. Okay. The natural temples of the Grand Canyon. All right. Published August 21st, 2015. That's the Grand Canyon. All right. Highlighting the temples and the peaks of the mountains in the Grand Canyon. But we want to go down. We want to go down, right? Somewhat paradoxically, a canyon is in many ways an inverse mountain. And one of the greatest canyons in the world, the Grand Canyon, has evoked a sense of awe since the first Native Americans gazed upon it in wonder, as the Colorado River and its tributaries cut their meandering paths through northern Arizona. Over millions of years, those rivers created a sequence of mountains all lying within the vast depth beneath the rim of the canyon. Most visitors to the canyon today don't realize that in addition to the magnificent geological vistas, they also encounter a mini catalog of world mythology. Many of the early canyon geologists, such as Clarence Dutton, 1841 to 1912, applied mythological names to the prominent mountain peaks within the canyon. seeing in the grandeur of the canyon the sacred mountains and temples of the gods and goddesses of mythology. The Greek and Roman gods are represented with temples to Jupiter, Apollo, and Diana, the goddess of the hunt, which stands somewhat incongruously beside Solomon's temple. Most readers are perhaps unaware that the Viking paradise of the gods is actually found in the Grand Canyon on Valhalla Plateau, where these words were actually written at sunset. Nearby, Wotan, Odin, sits enthroned. England's medieval mythology is represented with King Arthur's castle nestled beside the Holy Grail Temple. Doesn't mention anything about ISIS or anything like that, right? So why am I attributing this naming system to Clarence Dutton? We're not done yet. We're not done. But early geologists went beyond Western mythological traditions. The Egyptian gods are clustered in temples to Isis, Osiris, Horus, and the Tower of Set. Nor is Asia's mythology neglected. Hindus have temples to their trinity of Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, as well as shrine to Rama, one of the legendary incarnations of the god Vishnu and the hero of the great Hindu Ramayana. Even prominent philosopher prophets such as Confucius, the Buddha of India, and the Persian Zoroaster receive temples. Okay, so the naming of these temples began between the times of 1841 and 1912, I believe 1847 or something like that. You can get a more accurate date, if you will, if you just search this dude right here, Clarence Dutton. Let's get some more information, right? This is rocking it. Okay, 2021, first article, 2015, this article, 2021. So by now, if it wasn't true, right, there should be some information out there suggesting this article right here. Excuse me. Boom. Okay. Core virtues. There's the canyons. All right. And on the canyon floor 1 mile down, a gigantic volcanic rock lies exposed. The coal black Vishnu rock is nearly 2 billion years old, and visitors can be forgiven for asking, how did a Hindu god get into the Grand Canyon? The answer is U.S. geologist Clarence Dutton. Awed by the canyon's majesty in the 1880s, he felt it belonged to all. He named its rock formations after deities and kings from around the world. Vishnu evokes the Hindu god charged with preserving and protecting the earth. Isis, Osiris, Horus, Zoroaster, Solomon, Brahman, Apollo, Jupiter, and Diana are other temples like mounts in the park, recalling ancient Egypt. Okay, if America was ancient Egypt, this wouldn't say ancient Egypt. Persia, Greece, Rome, and biblical heroes. China's Confucius and India's Buddha preside over their own temple. Butts. The Viking world is represented on the Valhalla Plateau with Odin enthroned nearby. King Arthur's castle and the Holy Grail Temple in the canyon bring medieval imagination to life. Okay, so that just mirrored the information that I just read, right? So now I want to go to the wiki because it's going to tell you his background. Okay, this is the dude right here, Clarence Dutton. Okay. was an American geologist and U.S. Army officer. Dutton was born in Wallingford, Connecticut, May 15, 1841. He graduated from Yale College in 1860 and took postgraduate courses there until 1862. When he enlisted in the 21st Connecticut Volunteer Infantry, he fought at Fredericksburg, Suffolk, Nashville, and Petersburg. He was elected as a member to the American Philosophical Society in 1871. In 1878, he was one of the 10 founders of the Cosmos Club. Okay, I want to do something right quick. And I wouldn't be surprised, since he went to Yale, that he's not a student of this order right here. Okay, so when I was talking about the ancient Egyptian information coming through masonry, right? These are some of the things that you got to look into, right? What is the American Philosophical Society? Okay. National Academy of Sciences, the Cosmos Club, right? You got to look into these things, okay? So with that being said, this makes this false information. Now I see why it was combined, but if the headdress of the Indian, right, and Indian is a misnomer, it's connected to Egypt, we gonna need some more sources. We gonna need some more truthful information. And this right here, this is not cutting it. Always fact check information. With that being said, like and subscribe. And my people, I'm out. Y'all have a good day.
Slap a nigga back in the track. Nigga lay it down. Cause the Chief J never play around when it comes down to compromising my own self. I can never do that. Coming off of the shelf, longevity. But you see me with the good night. Coming out the phone booth. Green light. The night light. When I transform. Wall of storm is like a whirlwind pyramid. DOC, Dr. Woman. Check it out when I do it right. Listen,